Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk a bit about evangelism, just because it's been a theme of the church lately, and also the main focus of the new program that we just began last night. But let's start with a digression. I received a text yesterday, and in it was a picture of the back of a car, and it had a sticker on it. And there was a cross, as in the cross of Jesus, and then the word unashamed, something like this. And obviously it was an evangelistic effort by the car's owner, obviously. But the reason it was sent to me by a woman named Barbara, who is one of those people that sees words in words. And of course the joke was, what about tuna shames them? Why are they tuna shamed instead of unashamed? Get it? And I had to work really hard to make this sign, by the way, because I had to do a mirror image. You're seeing a mirror image, and I had to write it backwards. Anyway, so it says tuna shamed. I'm not one of those people that sees words. I know there are people that would instantly see that the word sham is in there, or med, or nash, and that these are all words. But the guy who stuck it on the car, his or her intent was to say that he or she was unashamed of Jesus. But there's words and words, and of course this spawned a lot of humor, like when you buy tuna in a can rather than fresh, there's cause for tuna shame. And so I bring this to your attention for a reason. My friends who can see words and words are going to notice very quickly in the word evangelism is the word angel. And that is not a coincidence, as sham being in tuna shamed or unashamed is. The word angel and evangelism, they're very much related, and both are about good news and message and messengers. An angel is a messenger. And the word evangelism only basically has existed in Christianity. It got invented basically by the Greek authors or translators of the New Testament, who referred to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the four writers of the four Gospels that talk about Jesus' life most explicitly, are the evangels. They are the evangelists. Their work was evangelism. They are angels, in effect. Now, as for the evangelism we're doing here and the program that began last night, it's called Embracing Evangelism, and it's from the Episcopal Church and a seminary in Virginia called, catchily enough, Virginia Seminary. And they came up with a three-pronged way to be evangelists for we Episcopalians or anybody else who wants to. And it was based on these three pillars, basically. Seek, name, celebrate. We seek goodness, God, love, however we understand the divine. Then we name it. That might be God. That might be Jesus. For some people, when they first name something that's eternal and benevolent, they just say, that's something powerful that's eternal and benevolent or divine. Or they might, be from a different culture and religion, call it Vishnu. I think we're all smart enough to know it's pretty much the same thing. I know not everybody agrees with that. You'll learn. Anyway, we seek, we name, we celebrate, and we're all naming an understanding of something that is beyond our total understanding, but it's okay to try and say, wow, that mystery, that magic is God. It's great. And then we celebrate it. If we seek, name, and celebrate God, we're being angels. We're being evangelists. We're doing as Jesus said. We're lifting in love ourself, others, and lifting love to God. Loving God with heart, mind, soul, and strength, and loving neighbor and loving self. If we have love and we perceive love of God, it automatically births in us a desire to share that. Now, I have to say, here comes the advertisement. This seek, name, celebrate sounds awfully familiar to me because I've been watching this happen for 20 years. I started being a priest after seminary in Little Jessup, Georgia, small town in southern Georgia, and figured out that on Wednesday nights, everybody in this small town it's sort of in the air and in the water that you do something churchy on Wednesday as well as Sunday. It comes from the days when a small town, when there just wasn't that much social life. So you went to your church not only to praise God, but to hang out with one another and have fellowship. And once a week on Sunday morning just simply wasn't enough. So you had a midweek something to kind of build your spiritual muscles, but also just have fun and hang out with friends and family. So it was already in the air, and we had a Wednesday service that was very traditional, and about 3 people came, and the same exact Eucharistic service that we had on Sunday morning. And clearly the desire was not for that. So I started a program that many of you know is called Supper, Song, and Praise. The primary driver, the reason Supper, Song, and Praise works, is because it has always used people from the church giving a message, or as they say in the South, a testimony, or as they say elsewhere in the South, they witness to their God. And basically what happened every Wednesday night, one way or another, each person authentic to herself or himself, was doing what we heard last night at Embracing Evangelism at the Episcopal Church program that we began last night, virtually here, and we'll go for 6 weeks. Seek, name, celebrate is what I hear almost every Wednesday night. Part of the seeking of God is birthed very frequently by pain, by loneliness, by hurt, by chaos, by loss, by illness. And people realize their life is kind of in a disaster place, yet at that moment they always feel a something, that goosebumpy presence. Someone, somehow, something bigger than their understanding and kinder than what they've normally experienced is with them. They are not alone in the gutter, even if they're in the gutter. And then they name this entity. Usually it's called God. And sometimes it's specifically Jesus. Again, whatever people feel comfortable with, all good. It's all good. They name it, and then they realize, even as bad, and a lot of that pain may have been self-inflicted, and they'll acknowledge that, but even self-inflicted, this God was loving them unconditionally. They name that God, and then proclaim that God. That cycle is one of the most angelic messages we can share, because it's the biggest truth we can possibly know, is how much we know about the capital T truth that is God. We never know it completely, but we get glimpses, and sometimes that presence of God is stronger. It varies minute to minute, day by day, and sometimes that presence of God is so miraculous, we're so filled, we're so amazed, we're so awed by it, that we simply must share the experience with others. And that's evangelism. And I have been the recipient. You think, oh, well, you're a pastor, you must do that all the time. Well, maybe I'm so clever in my laziness, I've had it done to me for 20 years by people who share again and again and again, almost every Wednesday night. For all these years, I get to hear evangelism where there's victory and power and joy, replacing brokenness and hopelessness. It's gorgeous, and I've been fed by it again and again and again. And here's the really good news for today. I already know, because I've already been fed, that tonight's message, because it's Wednesday, tonight's message by Schuller Christensen is absolutely an example of where there was seeking of God. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but there was that need for God. There was brokenness, and God was sought, God was found. And God is being proclaimed tonight, and it's being proclaimed by a 22-year-old woman. And I'll tell you, here's a little bit of a spoiler. She is as brave as Jesus. You'll want to tune in tonight on Facebook, on our live stream through the Epiphany Episcopal Las Vegas page. You'll want to tune in and hear Schuller be an angel tonight. And by the way, well, let's do a moment of housekeeping. If you end up seeing this later in the day on YouTube, I highly recommend you get a Facebook page. Do it under a false name. Use your least important, the old, whatever it is, Yahoo or Hotmail or AOL email address that you never use anymore, use that so when the spam comes, you don't have to pay any attention to it. Get yourself a Facebook account and call yourself, Johnny Doe Jr. and set it up just so you can see these live streams. That's the most direct way. And also, then you can be part of the conversation because as the live stream, you get to message while you're in the middle of it. So there's the invitation for all of us. Don't feel too ashamed. Feel angelic. Tell your story. Seek God in all the places of your life, maybe especially the hardest ones. See that God was with you. Proclaim that. And then also celebrate when others do the same. When you hear the gift from somebody else of their sharing of God, it empowers your own. And often then those gifts multiply just like loaves of bread and fishes on a mountainside. It's a miraculous expansion and snowballing of goodness and love. But we're going to get a big dose of that tonight at 7 p.m. from Schuller Christensen, and I invite you to hear her. All right, that's what I've got today. I love you. God bless you all, and I'll see you again this evening. Bye-bye.